But I think both of you guys are on the right train of thought here. I think that's one of the big things that we're learning about this year through theatrical is that audiences are paying attention again to, I guess, realism in movies, or at least like things that are self-made that are treated with care and respect to the audience. It's not this factory assembly line of CGI goosh that's just smeared all over a movie. Now that we're seeing this, and even with Spider-Man, which we'll talk about more to a degree, does have some pretty impressive practical elements that do blend good CGI, but you can tell that there was care and thought put into it. So especially with the Odyssey and, you know, with everything going on in the world, especially with the rise of AI and seeming like people don't care about human creation anymore, I think that's going against the grain in that people do care about human creation. And Nolan's a perfect example of wanting to witness that.
This is the Off the Break Podcast, your podcast dedicated to current movie theater news, operations, and insights from the people that book the movies.
Welcome back to another episode of Off the Break Podcast. I'm Kyle, and joining me today is Alyssa and Codi.
Hello!
Yay! I'm back. I haven't been on one in so long.
It's been a minute.
No, all three of us, because we just haven't been able to be recording in the last couple of weeks here. But we're going to be coming back with a lot of force because there's a lot to talk about with Odyssey and Spider-Man. But I did hear that you guys wanted to talk about a trailer that dropped.
Oh, yeah.
So walk me through this. What is this movie? What is this trailer about? Like, because I have not seen this trailer. So what is this?
Kyle, you haven't seen the trailer?
I still have not seen.
We're talking about Wicker, aren't we?
Yes, we are talking about Wicker. You have not got the full experience of this trailer.
You have to. You just have to do it. It's so good.
I think I have to bite the bullet because I saw one image of it and I was immediately thinking, I'm good. No. I just don't need to know about this.
You do.
There's a lot in our industry we should know about and what's coming out. But this one, I'm like, I don't think I need to know. But here we are. We're going to tell me anyway. You're going to tell me anyway.
So the film is Wicker. It's got Alexander Skarsgård, Peter Dinklage, and Olivia Colman in it.
Okay.
So it's being distributed by Black Bear, which is great for independent distribution. And it follows a woman, Olivia Colman, living in a village, and she is without a husband. And so she asked Peter Dinklage, who apparently makes wicker furniture, to make her a husband. And he does. And the wicker husband comes alive and is very sexually voracious.
It is, yeah.
So sexy Pinocchio.
It is a super
sexy adult Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then all the other women in the village are jealous of her very handsome wicker husband.
So is it being played as serious or is it like humorous? Like, which side of the aisle is it?
It's kind of got both.
Yeah.
It seems like there's going to be some sentimental like side to it from some of the shots, but also very funny.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely humorous, like tongue-in-cheek, like naughty humor type film.
Yeah.
And I'm all for like naughty humor, so I'm very excited about this.
Yeah, and the makeup his costume looks amazing.
Oh my
Like
gosh.
the detail on
Yes,
it.
it looks
so
so
good.
Yeah,
good.
it did.
Which is really cool.
But at the same time, I still was like, I just don't feel like it's for me. I just have this strange feeling. But clearly, I still need to watch it because you guys were really like riled up.
Well, the
about
internet's taking it by storm.
It is like
which is
catching
awesome.
on.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Okay.
It's a thing of itself on TikTok now. It is amazing. Just the memes that are coming out of it about husband material and like, oh my God. Yeah.
So funny.
All the things.
I hope that it does like capture audiences and wanting to see it, but I also fear that it's one of those meme situations where it doesn't like carry over to the actual movie, you know?
I have hope that it will because it comes out soon. I think if it was one that I dropped early and didn't come out till like next year or whatever,
Right.
like then no
But it's
shot.
October.
Oh,
But it's October.
then? Okay, good.
So I think the timing's good, and I think how close we are to it, I think it'll hold up and it'll keep going.
Absolutely. It's just building momentum at this point. And this is what trailers need to do.
Yes!
They need to create excitement like this.
Yeah.
This
It's clearly it worked.
And it didn't show the whole movie. It just showed you
God.
a gist of like what was happening, and it was
Short snippets that are like, okay, it just makes you want more.
and
Which is
one-liners
what
that are
trailers used to
hilarious.
do. Yeah. It was just such a good trailer, and I love the cast. It's just gonna be fun. And
Olivia Colman is great.
I adore her so
Always.
much.
We
Yeah,
adore her.
It's just gonna be fun.
It is.
And
We're
that's it.
very
It's just
excited.
so fun to see a trailer that builds hype again and that people can make jokes off of and it doesn't ruin everything. I feel
Okay.
like so many trailers nowadays is like, okay, just saw the whole movie. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do I need to go?
Yeah.
It feels like trailering is an art, and it's
Oh, it is.
becoming a lost art because people are like, oh, here's 2 minutes of a movie, just hit the highlights and call it good. But it doesn't evoke any tone or feel or excitement. And I feel like this trailer did that. And then it spawned all this fun stuff on social media, so you're like reliving it all the time through that.
I think it helps also that it was like more of an independent studio because for me, I didn't know about it. I didn't know about it beforehand,
Oh, no,
or
none of us
anything.
did, yeah.
So for me, it just kind of came out of nowhere, and I was like, "What is this? I need to know more." So I
Yeah.
think that aspect of it too really helps. There's no pressure to like. I mean, maybe now there's pressure, but
And most trailers are being run like how movies are being run with like the checklist assembly line type
Yes.
of process to them. Even still with like the changes we see in like the types of movies being made, there still is that issue of that habit.
Right.
So luckily it sounds like this is not that case,
No.
which
It
is what
looks-
people may want.
It looks fun. And I was telling Alyssa, I'm like, this is like very exciting because it takes somebody, like some executive somewhere or some independent studio to be like, yeah, let's totally make a film about a guy that's made out of wicker that turns into a husband. And like, that it sounds so absurd, but it sounds really fun. And it doesn't check off boxes like what we're getting from some of the majors right now.
I need to know this director's inspiration for making this movie.
Or just the writer and the screenplay.
Well, I guess the writer actually
Yeah.
would be more of
that's
the
fair. Is
question
it based
for
on
it.
anything? I don't know. I
don't
haven't
know.
looked that up. It's probably a book.
I mean,
somewhere.
it's
but-
probably a book, or it probably is leaning into the romance fantasy genre that is booming.
I
past
cannot wait
yeah,
for more
and that,
movies
we
for
were
that.
talking about that too, of like a talk about a genre that needs to be filled in films. Like, come on
Yeah,
now.
it's happening. Well, I don't know if it's happening for TV, but at least like I think teen drama romance is really filling up TV again.
Well, I think teen drama romance is easy because they hold the sexual component away. I
Yeah,
think the
true.
problem with dark romance fantasy that like more women are consuming is that it's great to read it in a book, but you can't take those sexual elements and put them on the big screen.
You can, but then there's
It is a fine line between that and porn.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that's why we just haven't seen that, but it's a whole genre of just like fairies and dragon lords and stuff that I feel like could be tapped into that maybe if you don't go that dark sexual element, you could still mine some really interesting stories out of that.
Yeah.
That might be our next frontier to tap.
Yeah. We'll see if Wicker is is it called Wicker or Wicker Man?
It's
Wicker.
Wicker.
We'll see if Wicker is the beginning of that.
I mean, that's not the one I would have gone with.
No.
I would have
I know, but hey, listen.
Here we
done
are.
some shifters, some dragon lords,
Yeah.
some fae kings in there,
Right,
something
yeah,
like that.
Something
But
else.
but Wicker, okay,
But we'll take what we can get, I
Yeah.
guess.
Beggars aren't choosers here.
Yeah. Well, all right then. So how about we jump from that and talk about the big guns that came out these past couple of weekends in the Odyssey and Spider-Man.
Gosh, yeah. Let's start with the Odyssey, guys. Like, I haven't seen this film, but it's fantastic. I didn't think anybody would want to see a 3-hour film again, but man, like,
Boo.
I know. I just hate the
You
runtime.
don't wanna see a
I don't wanna
3-hour
see a
movie
3-hour
again.
movie. I'm like, everybody's like me, right? Like, nobody wants to sit through this, but no, fantastic, amazing. What did you guys think?
No, this movie rocks. Yeah, he just gets Nolan gets how to make any sort of story he wants very contemporary and make it
Yes.
very engaging. And just with his directing style and editing style, they're big in scope, but yet they make you go the extra mile and like thinking about story structure and how things are tying up, even if it's not like a mind-bending, twisting sort of movie. It can just be a straightforward hero's journey in the Odyssey. Like he still is able to just combine all those elements to make like just a great Avengers story and a great story about family, which is part of the course for Nolan is the family
He's just a
aspects,
master. He can
but
just
he's the master of this generation.
I thought what was most interesting about this movie in the box office, that what we were seeing was that in all of the marketing, they were pushing, see this in 70 millimeter IMAX. I mean, Christopher Nolan shot it in IMAX.
The entire movie, this is like the first time.
Right. And so that became such a narrative for this film. I think that it overshadowed and eclipsed it in some ways. And so audiences only felt like they had to see it in that format. And I think that's the only downside to this movie, if I had a criticism, was that the need to go see it in this one format caused theaters that if you didn't have it, you weren't the preferred venue to see it, so people didn't go. It wasn't like they wanted to go see the story. They wanted to go experience it in this format for this, which is great for movie theaters because that just shows the theatrical experience.
Oh, it's new. If you haven't gone, if you're able to go and see a movie in 70mm, it is life-changing.
Yeah.
But they're so few and far between. I mean, especially for us here in Montana.
Yeah, that's
like,
an impossible task
it's
in
impossible.
the majority of the country.
But then the next tier down was PLF, or preferred large formats, which are the non-IMAX branded big screens and other luxury experiences. And we found in those locations that those showtimes were selling out, but then regular, just normal auditorium showtimes that most people experience across the country were not. And so I feel like there was just this disparaging, to the regular theater experience because you had to see it in this like super large format. And it even went on social media saying, "Oh, you're missing out.
Took over.
It's cutting off parts of," which isn't really true. But how do you explain that, without showing clips of the movies that you're not supposed to record in the theater?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. On the one hand, I do think it leads to those issues with the audience and feeling like they're being left out of something that I think studios should note and be careful of for future advertising. But I do think it's also kind of nice to see audiences caring so much.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's just because it's only a Nolan movie and it's not like every single movie, but at the very least, it is showing that like there might be a bit of understanding, or maybe not even understanding, but just a bit of interest in wanting to know why this is such a big deal. Like, why does it matter if this is an IMAX? Why does it matter that we are having this in 70mm? And maybe they want to know what that's about. I just see
cool.
both ways about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it was cool for people. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, just from the theater perspective, it was just hard for a theater operator to have so many, because you have to 3 hours, you only get so many showtimes, and then to have one screen sell out, but then you have other screens available, and then they're sitting idle because everybody's into. So I can see it from that perspective, the operations side, how that's super frustrating, and then we have to keep it in this one kind of auditorium with this upcharge to keep people coming. And then you don't know what's going to happen when it moves into a regular auditorium. Is it just going to die off? Like,
sure.
I mean, we're going to find out here soon because now the PLFs have to go to other films.
Yeah.
So that's been hard. But I do like this narrative that we're building, that there is something special about theatrical experiences, and that you only get this exclusive experience here, and that's the way you should see it.
Yeah. Did you have something else to chime in?
Oh, no, it was just kind of random. It was kind of hyping off of
Go ahead.
People being excited about a movie again, just seeing how he's just the master of doing things practical.
Yeah.
And how people were so excited about the, I can't remember the characters' names, but those like iron giants, you could say, the huge
the armored,
that were in the armored
warriors. Yeah.
And people were like, oh, that's CGI, that's whatever. It wasn't.
No, just
actually
7-foot dudes against 4'11" soldiers. Yeah, it's just playing tricks with the camera as well on top of that.
Which is so fun to see everybody be, whoa, how did he do that? Which causes people to go, oh, I got to see that. And it's just fun that there were so many elements that made people want to go see this movie.
But I think both of you guys are on the right train of thought here. I think that's one of the big things that we're learning about this year through theatrical is that audiences are paying attention again to, I guess, realism in movies, or at least like things that are self-made that are treated with care and respect to the audience. It's not this factory assembly line of CGI goosh that's just smeared all over a movie. Now that we're seeing this, and even with Spider-Man, which we'll talk about more to a degree, does have some pretty impressive practical elements that do blend good CGI, but you can tell that there was care and thought put into it. So especially with the Odyssey, and with everything going on in the world, especially with the rise of AI and seeming like people don't care about human creation anymore, I think that's going against the grain, in that people do care about human creation, and Nolan's a perfect example of wanting to witness that.
Oh yeah, I read somewhere, I saw a really interesting perspective. I think you guys will agree with this, that with the rise of AI, that people are equating AI and CGI together. Like they're very level in quality. And so the more CGI a film has, the cheaper it's feeling because of the association with AI. And I 100% completely agree with that. And I think that audiences are looking for, like you said, that authentic care and the practical effects, because now CGI, which used to be so cutting edge and visually stunning, is being cheapened now because the technology is being so proliferated.
People are like, oh, well,
AI.
I know that's fake. I know that's AI.
Yeah.
And even if it wasn't, if it was still just like CGI, people are like, no, it's the same thing. That's it.
It is. That's kind of scary too, because the AI boom happened, what, 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
Yeah, it was not that long ago.
And yet we're already, well, I'm going to be a bit hyperbolic here, but it can feel like you're already forgetting that there was a time where we could do this ourselves before this extra tool.
Yeah.
If I even want to call it a tool, not really, but you know what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
And I have theaters now that are finding out that some movies have generative AI used in them, and they're not refusing to play them because they're like, we're not going to support this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, as my job as a booker now, I have to figure out if something had generative AI in any part of it.
It's
and
a
then
new step.
ahead of
It's going to be a new spec.
Yeah, it has to
for
be.
sure.
Because people are like, no, we're not supporting this.
And I think theaters, if you are one of those theaters listening, take advantage of that and be self-proclaiming about it. Advertise it if you can, because there are going to be audiences that pick up on that and really appreciate a small business that loves entertainment as much as your audience does. They'll be showing up and supporting
I think
you.
it's about giving them quality. I think it's a quality control, and that's what the movie theater has always done. It's always, you can always trust that for the most part that a movie in the movie theater went through enough that it's worth your money.
There's never been bombs.
No. For the most part, instead of scrolling on some streaming platform or going through the video library back in the day, like, you knew that the theater had some quality to it, that it was worth going and seeing. And I think if theaters can maintain that by saying, no, we don't want generative AI, or we don't want films with too much CGI because it cheapens it to make it look like AI. I think that's just the way, we got to go to kind of maintain that quality and that really awesome theatrical experience.
Yeah. Yeah, so on our part too, we're going to have to pay attention to that more.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, but that's the name of the game right now.
I'm too old for this.
No,
What's this newfangled technology? What is this?
No, and it's exhausting. I totally understand. So how about then, if we have nothing else to add for Odyssey outside, great job, Nolan and Universal and movie theaters in general, how about just pivoting to Spider-Man and talking about that?
So awesome. Oh my gosh. So we knew that Spider-Man was going to be a big movie coming into it. We were like, this is going to be the biggest movie of the summer. It could possibly be the biggest movie all year long.
Yeah, which that part wasn't surprising.
No, we kind of looked at that, but man, the hitting over the 300 million mark, shocking, because
not just that.
No, it was what, 360?
Yeah. Which
so
beats out
Avengers
Endgame's opening weekend.
Yep.
Blow our minds, blindside us out of nowhere. And I'm not putting down its success at all, but you kind of expected it with Endgame because you had 20 years of films almost at that point, 20 movies or whatever it was at that point.
Yeah, about.
That were all building up to that one thing. So everybody was like prepared, expected it. We were all on the wave of that.
It was the event of events.
Yes.
Yeah,
and it had been built up like that for years. And this one beat it without many IMAX screens because Odyssey was still on IMAX. So you didn't even have the IMAX numbers to push it up. Beat it just purely on ticket sales out of nowhere. Who would have thought a fourth Spider-Man movie was the one that for some reason everybody needed to go see? Like, it's just so surprising.
I have some thoughts, but Alyssa, do you want to jump in first and let's see if we have the same notes?
To me, it's not surprising. I don't know. It just felt, I don't know. After seeing the trailer for Doomsday, Austin and I were like, God, I'm not excited for that movie. I don't know. With the trailer, with everything, I was like, I don't know. And then watching Spider-Man, I was like, this is it. This is it. This feels real. This feels authentic. Still a superhero movie, but there's more to it. I don't know, which I feel like the Spider-Man movies have done in the past, but this one in particular was just so cared for.
Yes.
That after watching the movie, I was like, this is going to be it. This is going to break it. After watching, which is such a cool feeling to feel after watching a movie and being like, oh, this is it. It's so exciting.
Yeah, definitely.
So for me, it was not, I was hoping for it, and boom, then it happened, and it just made me so happy.
Yeah, I think, one, obviously Spider-Man is Spider-Man, just the king of superheroes. Like,
Yeah.
everyone just
Undisputed
loves him so
at this
much.
point.
Undisputed, yeah.
I do think despite it not playing in many IMAX theaters, it still is dealing with heightened ticket prices, which even from the last movie 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago now, still different in terms of pricing. Like, even 2021's ticket prices were cheaper than 2026's,
Yes.
which, not blaming any theater for doing so. Obviously, we're trying to keep our business open as much as we can, but that's just part of the reality. But I do think there was something to a 5-year waiting period before another Spider-Man came back with like the same cast, and they're a lot older, and you see that they've grown and matured, not just themselves, the actors, but just the characters as well. And I think similar to the Odyssey, and unlike the previous 3 Spider-Man movies, this one did feel like it was a lot more practical. It was more well thought out. The trailers, I think, were very impressive in showing like a movie with like some great cinematography and like just great depth perception, and just really crafting like interesting through lines, whether you're still into the MCU or not, or just Spider-Man stories in general. There's still like some interesting nuggets that they were showing without revealing everything. And I just think marketing wise, hype wise, and just audiences wanting movies like this to feel that realism, to feel practical and lived in, I think all those just combined to this outcome. Now, granted, still was shocked by it being Avengers Endgame, but nonetheless, we knew all those 3 combinations were going to be like a massive opening.
Well, I mean, and we should have known too by the day the trailer dropped, with how many views and the records it broke just
Yeah.
from that. That's a sign in and of itself.
Yeah.
People are so freaking excited for it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
That's how I knew it was going to be at least a 250 million
Yeah.
opening. And I was like, that's what my
Yeah.
expectation was.
Yeah, and that is a totally fair assumption.
Yeah.
Like, that should have been the max.
And I was like, this will, because the last time I felt like that was the Deadpool Wolverine movie, because
Yeah.
that felt like an event, like a Deadpool movie, and you got Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine, and they're
Right.
finally together. Like, that was awesome, and that felt like an event, and I knew that was going to be big. But it was rated R, so I was like, oh, Spider-Man for sure, PG-13 is going to beat that. So that's where like my mind was at, and then I saw all the interest, and I was like, this is great. Like, this is going to totally beat everything. But man, beating Avengers Endgame was crazy, but I'm kind of sad for Sony a little bit. Like, I'm so happy Sony dethroned Disney. Like, that's really awesome.
Yeah.
But I feel that, like, as excited as we are, there's not the general excitement I'm getting in the industry about how monumental this is. And I don't know
Agreed.
if it's because people were blindsided, not expecting it. Like, we didn't get the build-up like we did with Endgame, or like Deadpool and Wolverine. Like, there wasn't the build-up.
Yeah.
Or if it's because the Sony is the distributor and there's some bias there, like, oh, you're not one of the really majors, or if it's just, people didn't realize that it beat Endgame. I don't know. There just seems to not be the fanfare that Sony deserves for distributing this film and getting it out there and getting so many butts and seats. Like, I don't know why more people aren't like freaking out over this. This is amazing.
I think the final number did sneak up like around Monday morning, if I remember my timeline of reading things correctly. So maybe it was just last minute headlines that didn't quite capture the moment. But I think the second part is the capturing the moment part, as we've seen in not just our industry, but many other industries, news related or otherwise. Stuff moves a lot faster now.
Right.
Like, just news wise and everything else moves so much faster that it's not the same as back in 2019 with Endgame. Like, our windows were a lot longer, the celebration and the hype was just a lot longer, and it was just captured a lot more together, and just was able to stay put. 2026 culture is a lot different from 2019's culture now. It's faster, and no matter what type of hype you're doing or whatever, like the news story is, it's gonna go away in the blink of an eye. Like, it's just how fast people move now compared to even back 6, 7, 8 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder how much also, if like maybe studio wise is like, okay, yeah, you have Spider-Man, what else?
Honestly,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
That's
like,
why I'm
okay,
saying
yeah,
the
we
Sony
knew
bias.
like Spider-Man, hey, that's exciting, da-da-da.
Yeah.
What else you got?
Yeah.
Good for you, but it's done now.
right.
No, I
Like, what's next besides Spider-Verse?
right.
But that's still Spider-Man.
I feel like that is like a caked in bias, and that's not fair. Like,
yeah,
we should
No,
all be celebrating this right now.
100%.
because-
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's industry wise. I think also in the general public, I don't see people freaking out about that opening as much as, say, Endgame's opening happened.
Right.
And I do think that means that the culture for superhero genre has changed. Not so much
Yeah,
to
true.
where if it's a good superhero movie, people will still go out and see it. But now we are seeing that people are really paying attention to quality and not just whatever superhero movie's appearing.
Yeah.
So I think I think there's that component, and then just that superhero movies aren't the top dog anymore. Not
Right.
necessarily. As funny as that is to say about Spider-Man, but
Right.
But it's true.
but yeah, we're just seeing the change in that culture. So it's not they're gonna love Spider-Man. They're gonna love this movie. It's gonna have a great theatrical window. Keep playing it, obviously. But the reason why it's not sticking around and being talked about more, I think, is just because superheroes aren't as big of a deal anymore.
And that could definitely be it. I do hope though from this narrative is that the overall industry narrative that movies are dying is gone. Like we're not dying anymore. Our industry's fine.
Oh, wait till January.
No.
The dark times.
No, there are going to be dark times ahead, but I feel like that is a pipeline of content, and that's always been for 100 years. That's always been movies. That our industry's issue is that people will only go to see what they like want to see, and getting them into something they want to see is really difficult. And it's all about the content on that. And so we're going to have some low periods, and that's definitely changed since the pandemic, since 2019, where we have low lows that are really hard. But I think overall, it just shows that people want to go to movies. Like that it should just continue to be the narrative that movies are worth investing in. You will get a return on your dollar. People want to go see movies. You just have to pick stories and authentic stories with practical effects that people want to see, and they don't necessarily have to be original, but they have to they can be sequels. They just have to be really good, really cared for sequels.
Yeah.
With stories that you're like, yes, this moves my character forward and I want to see this.
Yeah, I think that's correct. This is just one of the many lessons of a great year. Like, I think just the past 4 or 5 years, we've seen our fair share of successes, but also just our fair share of, punching the boxing gloves, punching at us. But 2026, it finally feels like there is like a trajectory and a direction for the stories and the movies that people are wanting, and just and the direction of subject matter for what people are asking for too.
Yeah.
I think in the following years we're going to be seeing good results after this.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think that has a lot to do with, independent distribution stepping up and filling voids where we're not relying so much on the majors right now.
Yeah.
With their corporate like checkbox type of movies. Like,
Yeah, I think people, especially younger audiences, can sniff that a mile away. I think gone are the days of naivety to an extent.
right.
I think it's just easier for future audiences to be able to smell bullcrap from a mile away.
Right.
So
When-
studios got to be careful, man.
Yeah. And I think it helps too. We're a couple years out now from all the strikes. So our content pipeline is more consistent right now. Finally over some of that.
Over the
Hopefully,
hump.
hopefully that doesn't change. So we get more consistent content. We're back I think movie theaters in general are healthy, like the ones that weren't being run right or weren't on a healthy financial basis after the pandemic, like that's all sloughed off now. And, we had some theaters close and we've had some screens go down. I think we're entrenched to more healthy state in our industry on the exhibition side. And so I think that all now will build back up our industry and we'll just see more and more growth.
The one question that I have for our industry is just pricing, and it starts with the major chains, in my opinion. I think if major chains start the trend of knocking down pricing, and then it'll match up better with the little guys who some of them are trying to do smaller pricing, which good on you guys for trying. I know others like aren't in the similar boat probably, but that's like our next step, I think. But that's also a bigger economy issue. It's not just our industry.
No.
So
it is.
that's just my one.
I think movies have to
thing.
try to get back to being the more affordable entertainment option, because that's what they used to be for the masses.
Yeah.
They used to be the affordable entertainment option.
Yeah.
And they're not now, because they catered to where the money was, which they had to do. Like everybody has to cater to where the dollars are spent. But what we're seeing with things like $5 discount Tuesdays and stuff is there's overwhelming interest in that. Those are some of their most heavily trafficked days now, are the discount days. And so that's just telling you that there's interest there. There's demand. It's just the price needs to come down. And so I don't know if the major chains will, address this, but I think, it also needs to be the studios too, allowing more discount days. Maybe we allow 2 or 3, because I'm getting asked this a lot. Can I have another discount day? Can they be discounted during the week and then weekends be the expensive ones? I think we're going to have a whole nother conversation on dynamic pricing moving forward. I think that's kind of the new terrain too, because we got to get some pricing down midweek, and then, weekends, that might be the expensive time to go. So we'll see how that plays out in the next year or two. And all these upcharge screens, the studios are really pushing all the upcharge, whether it's PLFs or it's fun things like IMAX or D-Box or 3D, whatever the experience in the auditorium is, they're pushing to have more of those high-end luxury auditoriums out there to kind of goose those numbers a little bit. But as much as you do those, you also have to take care of people at the other end of the economic spectrum. And I think if they're going to ask for more theater involvement, more theater investment into those really pricey screens, then they've got to relent on
you gotta help, man.
pricing on the other end to get the people coming through to help pay for all that.
Yeah, two-sided street.
Yeah. You got anything else to chime in, Alyssa?
No, I mean, that's it. I mean, I know that's a constant thing here is people all the time are like, oh, I'd love to go to the movie, but I can't afford to. I think I'm hearing now more people are like, oh, hey, I would go see this movie.
Right.
But
that's a good point. I don't think we're hearing so much that I haven't seen a movie in forever or long ago. Now the conversation is, I want to afford to go to this movie.
yes.
Yeah, I want to see this. I want to
Which is so
afford it.
sad.
That is sad, but it's better.
But it's better. Yeah, it is better. People want to go, and we'll take it one step at a time.
Yeah, exactly. So any other final thoughts that we have before we wrap things up?
Nah, go see them. Go see them both.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And then in that case, we are gonna.
Oh, it's about time for a new popcorn bucket too.
It's not just about time; it is time.
It is time.
Alyssa, what is our genre that we're choosing?
We chose to go with box office bombs.
Yeah.
Very fitting for this successful episode. Yeah, we don't really have a reason why it was on our list.
No, it's just kind of there. Yeah.
It just felt right. I think as we experience all this great success, it reminds us that not every film is treated the same.
No.
And we gotta like nurture and love those ones that didn't quite make it.
Yeah. See if whether they deserve a second
chance or
not.
There was a reason why it bombed.
Yeah. But yeah, how about we kick off? One of you two can
Go
reach
ahead,
in
Alyssa.
and
Oh
pick our
God.
first
Okay.
one.
The Lone Ranger.
Yay!
Yeah, and that was my pick. I can see my little
Yeah, look at this
my
little
little
duo.
guy.
This screenshot. Will
Yay! With Army Hammer and
Johnny
Johnny
Depp.
Depp.
Johnny Depp,
Uh,
Tonto.
Yes.
I don't think I saw this one.
This is Army Hammer pre-cannibal issues.
Well, we don't know if he was or wasn't a cannibal then.
I said pre-issues. I didn't accuse him.
I'm just saying he could have been a cannibal at that time. We don't know.
I think he had lustful cannibal fantasies.
Yeah. I do remember seeing this in the theater, funny enough, and I don't remember hating it either.
I remember seeing it too because I thought Army Hammer was so hot back in the day.
No, he has
He's such a
he has
weird
a
attractive
jawline.
man. Yeah.
So anyway, I'm just curious to revisit it and see if it actually was as bad as people kept trying to tell me it was, even though I was like, oh, it was fine. But
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that was just the one that I chose off the dome.
Okay.
This will be fun.
Yeah, I think
I'm
so.
curious
There's gonna
to
be
see how many we're going to be like, that was fine.
not even bad,
Not
or
even bad
atrocious,
or
just
good. No,
it was
it
fine.
exists.
I
It's,
think
you know.
I think the trivia could be more interesting.
Yeah.
Of, like, was there a reason like it was bloated in budget or like just failed or something? That's about it, really.
In researching this topic, because we all did the same thing. We Googled biggest box office bombs and then came up like a Wikipedia list. And then I sorted it by, the nominal amount of money it lost. And there were so many on there that were like from Disney.
Shayla said the same thing.
From
Yeah.
the COVID era where they, and other write downs where the studio just scraped the movie or did it to streaming right away or did day and date, and just the amount of money that was lost during that time, and how now those films are so tainted because you were like, oh, that's one of those COVID films that went day and date, and you just are like, that was a made for TV movie basically.
No, for sure. Or just like a lot of Disney movies in general, just because of the bloated scale versus like execution.
Yeah.
There's exactly, like it's really, it really highlights I guess a stain in our industry, really.
Yeah, and it was like they should have asterisks because it's not quite the same. Like, are these box office bombs because everybody
there's no box office,
right? Because there just wasn't a box office at that time, and people were like really gun ho about like promoting it, and then it just was like, oh, did it missed its mark with the audience, or is there other external political reasons why?
That does go to show how silly the streaming format is, because even with those big franchise movies that they placed on their streaming service to gain audiences and subscribers, it still is on these lists because those streaming numbers or money that they got still doesn't compare. It doesn't translate. It just, and I think we're learning though.
Yeah.
I think we're learning.
And I think it took the studio seeing real numbers saying, hey, if
in a pattern.
If this didn't play in the theater, nobody's clicking on it on my streaming site. It's not a reason they're getting a subscription. It's not a reason why they're keeping the service. Like, and it just took a couple years of seeing that to realize like, oh, this is a thing. We really need movies and we need movie theaters to help, at least on the movie side. I don't know anything about the TV side of it, but those have always felt two separate things.
I think in Disney's case, the TV side of things is also starting to diminish as well. It feels like they're halting on franchise TV shows and focusing on movies.
Yeah.
At least from the outskirts.
Which is what they always did really well. And they should just stick to what they were doing really well.
Yep. All right. So with that, we'll just wrap up our episode and just be happy and grateful for these movies to perform so well. Movie theaters, keep doing your jobs, doing terrific, obviously, by the looks of the grosses that we're seeing. And we'll be back next week with a new episode.
Bye, everyone. See you.
Bye.